Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture, and this morning, you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Renee Young leaving WWE, and on top of that, I've got a sneak peek. I would just say exclusive, but it's not ours, so it's not exclusive, but we've got a new look at the ThunderDome.
Plus speculation on where next for Renee Young. An NXT TakeOver 30s card has taken shape after NXT last night. This is the news.
We're going to kick things off by talking about Renee Young. You probably know this already, but we got to talk about it, man. It's the news, and this is the news, as Adam says. So, first reported by Outkick, then by PW Insider, Renee Young is leaving WWE. It is believed that she served her notice a week ago, and that SummerSlam 2020 this Sunday night will be her final show with the company. Renee's been with the company since 2012. She's done basically every kind of role you can think of, apart from actually wrestling, man. She's been an interviewer, she's been a commentator, a broadcaster, a host. Name a thing, she's probably done it. She even had a brief role in that feud between John Morrison, I almost said. John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, her husband, of course, and The Miz a few years ago. Recently she was the host of WWE Backstage. That didn't do too greatly, unfortunately, on Fox, so she's been just kind of doing various backstage bits and pieces here and there, but she's out the door. She's a very, very skilled broadcaster. She's been linked with ESPN and other networks in the past. Somebody that WWE, I think, unquestionably could have done a lot more with. Talking Smack was outstanding. It was a great show. It was so much fun to watch every week after SmackDown, and it just kind of got cancelled out of nowhere with no real reason given, and it sucked. And, she went back to welcoming her guest at this time, I believe was the exact wording she used on Twitter after that. And, she's had shots in various different roles, but her main skill has always been as a host. And at times that was never fully exploited on, you know what I'm trying to say. It was never fully taken advantage of. So I think it's WWE's loss. You will struggle to find anyone who doesn't have complete admiration for her as a person and as a broadcaster.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree with you. She's been fantastic in WWE, and no doubt whatever she goes to do next, she will excel at. And sort of linked to that, there's been a huge amount of speculation as to where she's going next. As Andy pointed out, shout out to Alex McCarthy at TalkSport for confirming that SummerSlam will be her final appearance for WWE. She subsequently put on her Instagram story a quote that reads, "I know what I bring to the table, so trust me when I say I'm not afraid to eat alone." Now, a lot of people obviously reading that as her joining WhatCulture Wrestling and being part of the Get the Table podcast, which you can get by searching WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from. No, I'm joking, of course. Loads of people, though, have instantly leapt to the assumption that she will be joining AEW to continue the role that she's done in WWE, but for the rival promotion, what with her other off, John Moxley, as you mentioned, being there too. ESPN is another place that she's been linked with. Andy, what do you reckon to all this? Because I feel like she's such an exceptional broadcaster. The world is kind of her oyster right now.
Yeah, she's going to be able to do whatever the hell she wants, and sports networks will absolutely be in for Renee Young. She probably has a deal sorted out already, She's probably figured something out, and whatever, we'll hear about it in due course. But for me, I think Renee Young is better than professional wrestling. I really do. I will be very surprised if she goes to All Elite Wrestling. I love that product. It's a very good show every single week, and there's the appeal of working with her husband and all that stuff. But I think bigger things await her, man. I think she'd be aiming downwards if she ended up there. In pro wrestling, she was never the best commentator, I think it's fair to say, but she worked hard at it, and she was a good interviewer and all this stuff, but on the studio show, she's always been just a cut above the other people that WWE have ever had in this role, I think. So I would be astonished if she went to AEW. Genuinely, I would be very surprised, despite the obvious connection there with Moxley. I think she's going to end up on a major sports network, an ESPN, a Fox, whatever, and I think she's going to kill it.
Absolutely, I'm inclined to agree with you. No offense to AEW or to the fans of AEW, but I feel like it would be not necessarily a backward step, just a kind of sideways step when she's proven herself so well in WWE that she could make that step to somewhere like an ESPN and really showcase her talents there. Look, like you mentioned, she was a bit iffy on commentary. I don't think it helped that when she was on commentary, they were in the midst of the whole what's going on with Dean Ambrose storyline, where she couldn't really acknowledge it. They really kind of threw her under the bus with that one. She can do interviews, as you said, but as a lead presenter, as a host, that is where she excels. And yeah, my money would be ESPN. But yeah, who knows? Maybe she'll head to AEW. Let us know where you'd like to see her in the comment section below. No doubt many people would love to see her in AEW. Again, though, can't help feel slightly different because AEW handles things a lot better than WWE when it comes to this. Slightly awkward having her there hosting stuff with the known association with the, right now at least, AEW World Champion.
So in summary, with Adam being off on Monday as a result of probably doing the SummerSlam live stream, which I assume is going ahead, you look forward to me and Renee Young hosting the news on Monday morning here on WhatCulture Wrestling.
I should also point out that we should announce the return of Talking Smack as well. I mean, we don't know if it's coming back, but as Michael Hamflett pointed out last night on Twitter, it's very much in WWE's wheelhouse to go, oh, you know that thing you really like that we cancelled? Well, now you've gone, we're bringing it back.
Yeah, without the original host. Let's take a look at the ThunderDome. New shots of the ThunderDome. These come to us on your screen right now from Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated and Pro Wrestling Sheet, publishing a couple of exclusive videos of the sets, looking rather lovely. Look at all this stuff, man. You got video screens, you got a weird canopy at the top. The stage looks crazy. WWE are today hosting a special rehearsal to make sure that everything goes well before this thing debuts on Friday Night SmackDown. It's going to be a limited number of people allowed in. They're going to get a free match, going to do a trial run, hopefully work out any kinks and problems with the thing. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a hoot watching a wrestling show with this. And as we already said, man, we're going to stay up live and watch this thing. Never do that for SmackDown because it's 1 a.m. on a Saturday morning, you sausages. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the ThunderDome, man. It looks cool so far.
Spoiler alert for the weekend, SmackDown's going to do 10 million on Friday night because everyone's going to be watching it. I cannot wait to see what this looks like. It's either going to be this spectacular reinvention of WWE or it's going to be a train wreck. I don't really mind which one it is. I will be watching hopefully. Nonetheless. It is really exciting. By the way, I realised that we do No Bollocks, Just Pollock, and I do want to introduce No Crap, Just Sean Ross Sapp as well. But for this, seeing as it is an exclusive, can we have, as it is Mr. Barrasso, this just in?
We could.
Okay, let's move on rapidly to TakeOver this weekend. Of course, it's TakeOver... Kiss, kiss, kiss. TakeOver 30 on Saturday night.
By the way, expert piece of advice. Every single morning, Andy Murray, Google Images, looks up some images for this news. Don't Google image TakeOver XXX on its own. Advice.
Yeah, I thought that would come eventually. But yes, we have a fully rounded out card for TakeOver this weekend now. We already knew some of the matches. Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross for the NXT World Championship. An amazing promo that I loved, a video package that I've actually stuck on my Twitter, just stole it from NXT, basically, if you want to go and check that out. There's Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez reappearing in Dakota Kai's corner on last night's NXT. We've, of course, got Adam Cole versus the man with the most punchable face in all of wrestling, and that's coming from me. Pat McAfee, brilliant promo
really
from him last night on NXT. Confirmation of the two final competitors in that NXT North American Championship ladder match. Joining Cameron Grams, Bronson Reed and Damian Priest is Johnny Gargano, who beat Ridge Holland, suffered a horrible bump in that match. Amazing, he managed to finish it. Eventually, with the help of Candice LeRae and a bit of a low blow, he managed to hit one final beat on Ridge Bloody Holland to win that match. And the Velveteen Dream beating Finn Balor. Whole big schmoz at the end of this week's episode of NXT. Just everyone getting involved, although I did like the fact that Finn Balor was cost that match by Timothy Thatcher, so we're going to get Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher one-on-one down the line. Velveteen Dream qualifying for that ladder match. Huge amount of controversy surrounding not just that decision, but a load of stuff going on with him, of course, with all the allegations still swirling online. And it was announced that we are going to have a tag team titles #1 contenders match. Really excited for this. Breezango versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Legado del Fantasma to see who will face Imperium for those tag titles. Andy, I think your boys might win this one.
I hope so, man. They deserve it. They're great. They're like a jolt of excitement every single time they wrestle. I honestly think they're two of the most underrated wrestlers in WWE. And I will. Well, actually, the pre-show is going to clash with Dynamite, which I have to professionally review. So I will watch it at some point for that tag match, but not live, unfortunately. But yeah, looking forward to it, man. They should just hold TakeOver in the ThunderDome. I don't care. Throw it in.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a hell of a weekend of wrestling. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Jake, who says, with all
Legend.
the hype about WWE's ThunderDome, whose entrance should kick off Friday Night SmackDown to really show off how cool this thing could be?
Roman Reigns. I mean, he's probably not going to because he's probably not coming back. But, if it's possible, it should be Roman Reigns. I think the show should start without the usual video package. His music should hit. The whole thing's dark, apart from a little spotlight on him, and he leans down. He's got that little pressure, that little pressure pad he punches when he does his entrance. Well, he punches the pressure pad, and boom, the whole thing lights up. Pyro, lasers, drones, helicopters, whatever they've got inside, wizards and dragons, whatever they've got inside the Amway Center, the whole thing lights up. You get that big explosion. I think that'd be a really cool way to reveal this wacky gimmick.
I really like that as an idea. Like you said, I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, my sources have already told me who comes out first tonight or tomorrow night, I should say, on SmackDown. Spoiler alert, CM Punk. Yeah. So, no, I'm joking, of course. The person I'd like to see really come out first and showcase that is The Undertaker, which he may well do because, of course, his retirement, as I've said on numerous occasions, is a work. It's
Terry
a work. He's coming back, don't worry. We are going to see the lightning and all that bollocks eventually. The content on the ceiling. As Kevin Dunn said in that Sports Illustrated interview. Right, next question today comes from Mark Solid, who says, with the teasers of forming a new Four Horsemen, are there any other former stables you guys would like to see redone in any promotion, and with what wrestlers? I'll take a female heel evolution with Mickie James, Dana Brooke, and the Iconics!
That was not as loud as usual. Fair play.
I'm just pacing myself for this weekend.
2020 Brood, baby. I mean, what else could it possibly be? What else could it possibly be? I'm obviously talking Gangrel, who, by the way, is still really good. Gangrel's in there. Abaddon from AEW, she can be in there. Who else is a bit goth? Let's go Darby Allin. Why not? He's not a vampire, but we'll throw him in anyway. The Fiend, why not? Like, I've just constructed the weirdest stable of all time, but it's going to go through every promotion at once. Just stuff.
I have to just rely on my same old answer for this whenever I'm asked about old stables. I cannot defer from mine and Phil Chambers' favourite ever stable. Too cool. Make it happen. Of course, with the sad passing of Brian Christopher, it can never be properly brought back. But Rikishi's still around. Scotty Too Hotty's been doing stuff in the Performance Centre for WWE for years, helping training and what have you. Who else could be in there? Do you know what? I'd love to see Sky Too Hotty, Rikishi, and Cameron Graham straight to the moon, baby.
Christ. Timothy Thatcher, he seems like
Timothy Thatcher, brilliant stuff. Right, final question today comes from Matt Rains, who says, good morning
Legend.
to the finest gents not named Michael Sidgwick. You get one of these three feuds to play out with an actual crowd. Which are you picking, Andy Murray?
Whoa.
Bayley and Sasha, FTR and the Young Bucks, or Hangman Page and Kenny Omega?
Oh, it's a good question. I mean, all three of those would be great, but I think just from an energy standpoint, if we're talking about a match, the Young Bucks and FTR, I think that would be a really, really sick way to kick things off. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Not only for the pops, but man, you could just start the match with 2 minutes of the Young Bucks doing crazy spots. Like, no psychology whatsoever, flipping and dipping, just lighting the building up. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're spoiled for choice there. I've waffled on for months about how much I adore this Bayley and Sasha nuanced feud that they've got going on, although WWE are in danger of ruining it. FTR and the Young Bucks, as you said, would be spectacular. I'm going to have to go for Hangman Page and Kenny Omega because if we're calling it the feud, not just the match, just for the split.
Yeah.
Because think about how the crowd reacted at Revolution, and that was, 6 months ago? More than that. Just for that moment, you need a crowd there for that. It may well happen at All Out in September, but we can dream to have that in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, you've spoiled us for choice there. Speaking of Matts, by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Matt Ryan, Aussie Dead on Twitter, who is celebrating his 29th birthday, I believe.
I believe so. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, regardless. Thank you for all your contributions, as always, Matt. And today's and finally is quite a serious one today, actually. This is an official announcement. WWE, you will be hearing from our lawyers after they announced that last night on BT Sport and tonight on BT Sport's YouTube channel, they are going to be showcasing 25 years of Triple H, with the title being What Went Down. Where have I heard that before, Andy Murray?
You know, I've consulted with my legal counsel, IRS, and he has advised me not to pass on any comment at this specific time, but let me tell you, Vince McMahon, Triple H, you will be hearing from Bray Wyatt's dad.
We'll see you. Hang on, let me do it in Vince's voice. We'll see you in court. Anyway, right, let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dandy Boys reviewing the Wednesday Night War later on today. I wonder who Michael Sidgwick thinks won this week. I'm going to wind him up so much. You can let us know your thoughts on Twitter as well, at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at...
That's Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Henningberg.
Wow, that's a deep pull. If you recognise that, as I always say, make sure you check out What Culture Football on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts from, and of course right here on YouTube as well. You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE, of course. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.